So, Ruby Beyond is episode 2 is out. I quite enjoyed it. I would say this is definitely an improvement over the last episode. And why is that? Well, the story focuses around John dealing with, feeling out of place in the world. And we do see that he reunited with his team. And all is going technically well, but the emotional strain of being in the ever after is not the best thing in the world. Also, we do find a little bit of background information. For example, Lewis and Alex existed before the war, which is crazy. So that adds, technically my timeline can still work, just not for the reasons you might think, because I did 100 years. Anyway, check out that video. But yeah, this was actually a lot of fun, and we watched John, start a journal. He also talks with Oscar, which is really crazy, because he's starting to show signs that he's not really Oscar now, and he's actually merging into a combination of the both, which is really interesting. Then, as I mentioned before, we get a flashback to Lewis and Alex where we find out that information, but not just that, we find out that they were there for Alex and Lewis were there for significantly longer than what I initially assumed, because I thought it was a 2-day trip, the exact same as Team RWBY, right? But I guess it wasn't. And unfortunately, we don't get enough information to collectively piece everything together, because this information is more to build up the fact of how emotionally destroying it is for John. And while Oscar does help him, and it is really fascinating to see Oscar and John interact in this kind of almost backwards mentor way, it's really interesting and just overall kind of fun. I do really wish, though, we got to see some interactions between Nora, Ren, and John, because we find out one thing. We find out that Nora makes jokes about John being the Rusted Knight, and it kind of throws everything off, but at the same time, it's not. That's more of a nitpick than a true captivating criticism, right? And I did enjoy it. I also think that it's kind of bittersweet, especially that campfire scene was kind of sad when we see Lewis, Alex, Ren, Nora, and Pyrrha all eating around the campfire, and he's talking about things he's fighting for, and then he breaks down and basically says that that's how he feels around the fire, and or that's how he feels that's how he felt around those campfires that he loved so much. And then we cut to a shot of so many campfires being lit up all over Reveiw, but there's no campfire where John is, because we know he's at the main central building, and there's no light coming from it, So even if he's back now, he's not having the same experiences that he thinks other people are having. And then Oscar and then he wonders, are we going to make it out of this? And then Oscar asks, well, at the campfire, did it matter if you were going to make it out of it? And he says, no, it didn't. Which, yeah, it was an emotional 5 minutes. Also, listen, I'm not trying to slander, but I think Miles put more effort into this one than he did the last one. I just think generally it mattered more. It's much, there was more effort in this one, I feel personally. Not just through the script, but also just generally through the voice acting. I'm sorry, but Miles gave a much better performance as John than really anyone in the last episode. So overall, I would say this is a relatively good, this is a good improvement. It's obviously not the best thing in the world, right? It's still the spin-off Premiere Pro animation, but it's fun, and it gave us some more insight into John, so I'm gonna give it an overall 7 out of 10. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See you later.